What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to the playoffs of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. My name is Orion. I am joined tonight by RW Dragon for two series to kick off our playoff bracket.
Two best of sevens at that. The playoffs have really turned up the heat on these teams. We're starting off with the closest matchup by seed to kick us off this playoffs. Orion, Kent versus Lincoln. Wow. What a way to start.
Yeah, it's statistically on paper the closest matchup. As you say, these two teams coming in back-to-back on seeds. Also exactly the same from the Swiss stage. 10-5 win-loss for both teams. So evenly matched on paper, and I would say subjectively as well, from my point of view, evenly matched as well. They've had very similar seasons, as you can tell. I'll just go through the rosters quickly. Kent has Matty Mumu, Squidgle, and Perennial Lotus. Lincoln, Dave G, Misty, and Bows. Kent have lost to Warwick, Loughborough, UEA, and Roehampton twice. Although Lincoln have only lost to Roehampton twice and Loughborough 3 times, which is pretty brutal, to be honest with you. Like, a third of their matches this season in Swiss have been against either Roehampton or Loughborough. That's quite some opposition.
I mean, Kent decided that losing was a spice of life, so they wanted a bit of variety in there, getting some Warwick and UEA to have those losses. But both of them having losses to Loughborough and Roehampton, both of them losing to Roehampton twice, the last splits, third place winners. Hard to say winners in that. They could have been much better off. But we're not really talking about Roehampton tonight. They're also looking good. Another split on top of the leaderboard as the number one seed coming into playoffs. But it's 4 and 5 they were dealing off to kick off the stream. And then later on, you might see a bit of the number 2 seeds possibly. As I said, it's number 4 and 5.
I think we may have lost RW Dragon. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm gonna keep talking about these two teams. If we look back at the results for the winter split, you're still talking? Okay, I couldn't hear you.
That was odd. Bit of a cut out there. But I was moving on to exactly the same topic as you were talking about the last split. I'm not sure if the stream could hear me or not. But last split, Kent 10th place. They missed out against Bath in the Open Playoff Grand Finals. So a decent split, and they've managed to upgrade to these playoffs.
Yeah, and Lincoln finished 5th, 6th in the winter split as well. They lost to UEA in lower bracket round 2, and UEA obviously went on to win overall. I guess we can say as well, UEA are once again in this playoff bracket, and hoping potentially to get all the way to the grand final once again. But who might face them there? If you had to pick 2 grand finalists from this bracket, Dragon, who would your money be on?
In terms of grand finalists, it's hard to go beyond Roehampton. They've had a little bit of a tricky time adapting to a new player in Dylan, who steps into the spot of crisis. But it's Roehampton. I think they should be able to convert this into a grand final run this time. On the other side of things, who goes through with them? It's tricky. Do we have a repeat of last split's third place playoff? I think that's where my money would be. I think it is going to end up being a UEA versus Roehampton grand final.
Do you think we see Warwick at all, though? They haven't looked as strong this season. They are missing Treefork in Newell as well, and their results haven't been as good. They were 10-5 in Swiss. Reminder, they made the grand final through the upper bracket last season, and then lost 2 best-of-7s in a row in that bracket reset in Nottingham to ultimately lose in that final to UEA in emphatic fashion. Do you think we'll see much of Warwick or not?
I think from what we've seen the past few weeks in both European competition and a little bit in this one, Warwick are struggling. They need to find a lot of form if they want to convince at least me that they're going to make a run for the grand finals yet again. But I mean, this is Rocket League. Let's be honest, anything can happen. Any team can have their day and take the match away from their opponents. Are we going to see them at the level that they were last split? I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see much of Warwick, but as usual, we're in a place where whatever we say, you can prove us wrong. We're in these casting booths. We don't have any pressure on us other than talking about Rocket League. Prove us wrong. Every single team out there, try and make it not a Roehampton versus UAE Grand Finals, because it's all down to you guys to prove us wrong and just play on your day. Get those wins.
Well, we are waiting on Lincoln at the moment, so I guess we can talk about some of the other opening matchups, I should say. So we're following Rocketeers Lincoln. We've also got Roehampton Loughborough B. Now, I feel like Loughborough B is probably going to be the weak link, and Roehampton having the Swiss stage that they did. I'm not seeing them losing their first round matchup. The other ones we've got, UEA versus Lancaster, could be more of a close affair. UEA have looked in great form again this season, but so have Lancaster as well. Lancaster, I believe, if I just check my notes, have actually beaten. They've beaten Warwick twice this season as well. So Lancaster are on a good run of form at the moment. Do you think they could throw a spanner in the works and upset UEA in the first round?
There is a possibility. I mean, they're coming into this with a little bit of momentum behind them, a little bit of wind in their sails, as it were, coming through the tiebreakers, and I think they came through in the upper half of that little tiebreaker bracket. So, yes, there is a spot for Lancaster in the next round if they want to take it. But as we know from your notes, I won't ruin it too much. But you seem very confident on UEA.
Don't. That's just rude, man. Come on. Yeah, I mean, I do seem quite confident on UEA. I mean, they won last season. That's a statement in itself, and they were the underdogs as well. Let's not forget that they had to when they had to play Roehampton in that lower bracket final. Me and Orksy, who were casting that, just kind of instantly wrote them off. We were like, yeah, there's no way that Roehampton are going to lose another series. They've been amazing in Swiss, in both Newell and other UK competitions as well. And UEA just absolutely wiped the floor with them. And we were like, okay, UEA are really here to kind of show up, you know? And Warwick were in the grand final, and I had the opportunity to talk to Warwick, and they were confident, and UEA absolutely stunned them. So UEA definitely have it in them to pull out a result when it's needed. But historically, UEA have also been known to drop the ball at some points. There's
Famously.
Famously, there is an emote in some discords which is like a certified UEA moment emote for good reason, because yes, they have had their moments. Hopefully, we don't get a certified UEA moment tonight. If they end up losing to Lancaster, that would be, you can lick the stamp and send it on that one. But I don't think they're going to. I think they should progress in the bracket quite nicely.
So I think we're starting to fill out our own little playoff brackets at the moment. I mean, so far we're pretty much in agreement. We got Roehampton going through to face off the winner of this next match. I think we're both thinking that Lincoln will just about take this one. So our top half of the bracket is Roehampton versus Lincoln. The bottom half seems to be UEA versus Loughborough. I think we can both agree on that one. So let's consider the next round, which will also be on stream today. We'll be going to the lower half. So let's think about that now. UEA versus Loughborough. Now that is an incredible matchup as well. Two teams that have had massive success historically when it comes to University Rocket League facing off in a matchup that we don't usually get to see that often. And they're playing it out on stream, hopefully, possibly, unless Lancaster upsets them or Warwick Williams Resolve also pull up an upset. But if we go think ahead to that, in terms of our joint predictions at the moment, who do you think are taking it, UEA or Loughborough?
Well, okay, if we're going to talk hypotheticals where we get UEA and Loughborough.
Yeah, this is a big old hypothetical.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would hedge my bets with UEA personally. I mean, Loughborough looked really good in Swiss. They lost to Roehampton 3 times, but they have also lost to UEA. UEA have also lost to Roehampton, and they've lost to Loughborough twice. So they've traded wins. They're capable of beating each other on their day. But I don't know. UEA just had the playoffs ice before. They dropped down to the lower bracket in round two, which they might end up doing again, but they dropped down to the lower bracket in round two and made it all the way to the grand final and won the whole thing. So yeah, UEA on playoffs is just built different. However, historically, Loughborough has also been built different on playoffs. And if they've been as strong as they have in Swiss, then that is going to be I feel like Clash of the Titans describes it quite well. UEA have won Newell most recently. Loughborough won it before, maybe even twice. So two previous tournament winners going up against each other in the upper bracket. Whatever the result, it's going to be a good match. But if I had to swing one way or the other, I would say UEA.
So I think I'm just about in agreement with that. That is going to be a very close one.
Yeah.
Might go all the way to game 7. So that is UEA predicted for upper finals. On the other side of things, can we just agree on Roehampton?
Yep, done.
Yeah,
Next.
done, signed, sealed. So as we're getting close to the kickoff, we've had the ID checks. Those are all done. The Kent team have just joined. Orion, I'm going to ask you the big question of who are we saying goodbye to tonight in terms of this competition?
Nobody, because it's double elimination.
It is double elimination. So I guess who's going home in terms of that lower bracket first round?
Oh, okay. You want to know who's going to be out first? All right.
Yes.
Give me a second. Let me just peruse the bracket.
So we have Kent.
I would have to say Loughborough B and Kent. Yeah, is who I'm. Oh no, they would face each other. I'm so dumb. In that case, Loughborough B. I'm gonna go Warwick. Actually, I'm gonna say it would be Loughborough B against Kent, which Loughborough B lose, Kent win, and Lancaster Warwick, which Lancaster win. So Warwick and Loughborough B would be dropping out first.
It is a tough one because you don't want to really be saying goodbye this quickly into playoffs. But of course, we have to have two teams do that. I know I've been going the same direction as you, but I can't think of any reason to disagree with you. Warwick haven't been performing. They could just flop out of these playoffs very, very quickly. I'm sure Tadpole would be very upset to hear that. But it's on the cards for them to have those moments and be kicked out of this competition very early. But it looks like all the teams are in, all the players are in. We are ready to go for the first game of tonight.
Yep, we can draw our attention back to Kent versus Lincoln now, and I think you thought Lincoln would win this as well, right?
Yeah, I think we have pretty much exactly the same bracket predictions so far.
And I mean, my reasoning for that is just because of how tough Lincoln's opposition has been. Like they've had to play Roehampton and Loughborough a total of 5 times. To be fair, they haven't played UEA, and the only other top 8 team that they've faced is Warwick, who they've beaten. So it seems like they've played like the teams right at the top of the top 8 in Loughborough and Roehampton, but not many in between. But Kent have lost to a lot of top 8 teams. They've lost to Warwick, Loughborough, UEA, and Roehampton twice. So I'm still on the side of Lincoln, who haven't played Kent before, actually, in this tournament at least. They might have faced off last season or in other competitions, but I do not know those results. But I'm going to stop talking about the game preemptively, and let's start talking about the game in the present as I type those magic words, go, go, go. Let's get both of these teams in and get this series finally underway.
Matty Mumu says ready now. Kent joining. Lincoln joining. Dave G, Bows, and Misty, Matty, Lumex, and Perennial Lotus. First face-off in the new
I think Dragon's dead again. Yeah, Dragon is dead again. I thought this happened before, and I was told it wasn't. We've got a goal from Misty after that opening sequence of play there. Very loose ball from Matty Mumu. Misty sending it on target. Dragon, you are dying there. Your mic is not working after that.
Am I back?
You are back now.
It's a tricky little start for this Kent side who are already 1-0 down.
That's a nice shot on target. Misty over to the left-hand side. Lumex dropping it down off the corner. Here is Matty with a shot on target. It's just off the bar, actually. Bows getting in the way of his own teammate, but making the clear. Misty putting long Perennial Lotus onto his own backboard. AG looks for the ground pinch, but does not get it under Perennial Lotus. Sends it long into the corner. Bows not getting the clear he would have wanted, but Misty following up nicely. Misty over the top. Connect with a teammate. Both teams definitely probing each other here, but we stay at a 1-0 scoreline for now.
And as we start, it seems like our predictions seem to be going very nicely. Lincoln do still hold this 1-goal lead. But as we go on, this Kent team will get into this series just a little bit more. Dave G can't find the clearance. Bows will have to come through. Big push upfield, but Dave G drops down. There's Bows, a shot just on target. Just off target, just hitting the crossbar. But still pressure for Lincoln down into the center. Matty Mumu gets in the way just before the shot can be put on target. Lincoln still holding this 1-goal lead, but it's just about Kent are starting to find a way through.
Here's Lumex. Running over the top towards Perennial Lotus. Looks for the redirect, but can't find it. Misty into the middle, but it's not the clear he would have wanted, and the shot from Matty Mumu is an absolute rifle towards the top corner. Bows hitting long Matty just with enough boost to send it into the corner. Misses that one, has 0 to deal with this. Lotus up with the air dribble, gets the pinch as well. Bows trying to take it away, but gets bumped straight off it. Misty looking for a teammate in the midfield, finds Dave G, but Matty Mumu with a preemptive pre-jump there locks it out. 2 minutes gone, and Kent still yet to score. Lincoln aren't asking as many questions of the defense as they were in the opening stages of the game, though. Dave G over the top. With a clear, it does have a very game 1 vibe to it. There's a lot of ping pong going on, and no real kind of commitment to get involved in the final third.
Absolutely, but it's still just about Lincoln that are edging out in terms of possession over their opponents. Dave G going high, brings out 2 defenders. That is an open net. Misty, can he make the most of it? Into the center, Dave G, the shot! Sent off target. I think there was any credit for the save in terms of the Kent players, but they did send it high and wide and away from the net. Lumex coming forward, pushing it forward. Matty Mumu blocked out by Misty. That'll drop down. Lotus again pushing it towards net. Again, Bows pushing upfield. Demoed out the play though. Matty Mumu blocked by Misty. Lincoln, a slender advantage going into this last minute, but an advantage nonetheless, as they could be taking this game 1.
Yep, Kent have had some decent opportunities, but just haven't been able to break through the Lincoln defense thus far. Kent might be doing it themselves again. Lumex in possession, going to send it off to Matty Mumu. For an air dribble here, does do so, gets it all the way through. Is there a Kent player there to finish? No, they need to be sending everything now, but that time they were just a little bit too timid on offense once again. Might get another shot. It is the clear coming through for Perennial Lotus. Matty looking for his teammate in the midfield. It's a beautiful pass down, but immediately blocked out by the Lincoln defense. Seconds left. Can they find a way through? Matty gets the clear. He's going to try and run it all the way downfield. In the corner, looking for that ceiling pinch down, but not going to find it. Lumex has got a lot of work to do here. And it's going to be put away by Dave G into the corner. Lincoln taking game 1, but it was a very closely fought affair.
So close. One game, only one goal.
No, they weren't. Lincoln were, I mean, they were the better team in the first half, but I feel like it was a lot closer in the second half of that game. So yeah, Kent, they don't have too much work to do, really. Like, Lincoln didn't look overwhelmingly dominant. So I still think it's a very even affair. Kent don't need to change up much. Just be maybe a little bit more proactive on offense, a little bit less shy on offense as well. Hold a higher line. Don't allow Lincoln to play their game and get those clears. Just try and get those 50-50s on defense. Might get an early goal here, though. That's going to open things up for them. First goal of the series for Kent, and it's come within 5 seconds of game 2 getting underway.
Quite the opposite that we had in game 1, where it was Lincoln getting an early goal. Unfortunately, I was lagging out at the time, so I couldn't really see it. But I'm sure it was just as good as the one we've just seen. Kent straight off kickoff. And that was the speed coming in. The speed that they have just to go after the ball, go get it, and get a shot on target. 15 seconds in, Lincoln will be looking for another opportunity. Dave G putting pressure on Matty Mumu. That doesn't get put together, and Kent will come back forward. 30 seconds gone, and Lincoln on the back foot.
Lincoln definitely on the back foot as all. That was a shot taken away from Matty Mumu there by Lumex, so teammates for Kent not on the same wavelength. Matty is going to pick it up now, but it's only as far as Misty and Bowles following up in the corner. Trying to make something work. That's a miss from Perennial Lotus, and it's going to allow Misty to come through and score an equaliser. That is a criminal miss from Kent. Cannot be missing those at this level. Perennial Lotus had the boost to get there as well, but just a field side flip man at the near post. Mistake comes through, and so does the goal.
So we'll start again. 1 goal apiece. Dave G and Lincoln pushing forward straight off the kickoff. Perennial Lotus will deny that, looking for a second touch, but it will drop to Matty Mumu. So he pushes upfield, Bows. Off the back line, trying to push it past one, won't manage it, but Kent still being a little bit timid, but it might be a fruitful way of playing as they come forward again. Matty Mumu and Lumex blocked out, but it's still deep possession for this Kent roster. They will look to try and find that go-ahead goal again. Broken down by Lincoln. Shot upfield. Misty is there once again. Shot is just wide, and Lumex will find a powerful clear things up for the Kent team.
Yeah, there's a very different complexion for Kent in this game relative to game 1. They are holding that higher line. They are pressing a lot more, asking a lot more questions of the defense. And it is starting to be a bit of a thorn in Lincoln's side. Not dealing with it thus far. It's 1-1 as things stand. That early goal cancelled out by Lincoln as Bowles looking for a demo. Gets the touch on as well. Dave G up, trying to drop it down. Not going to find it. Or this one's just going to go all the way through. How on earth has this happened?
I think Kent just came forward a little bit too far. They found themselves stuck. That's dropping towards the net. Matty Mumu's come too far forward. And Bowers will just make the most of it. This is good play from this Lincoln side, putting a lot of pressure on this Kent team. It's one moment in terms of the lapse of defense that gives them a goal.
Goal, and an important one for Lincoln, as they found themselves a goal down after 5 seconds, but now a lead restored. So we enter familiar territory here, as we were in game 1 with Lincoln, a 1-goal lead, and Kent having to find a way back. But ever since that first goal went in, they haven't looked quite as good at converting on their opportunities. Yes, the pressure has been better. Yes, the idea has been there, but ultimately you need to be scoring, and they just have not been able to do that. Lincoln's defense still remaining solid.
Again, another push upfield from Lincoln, and Bowers just plowing through the defense to try and just open up the net, but Lotus just gets there first, just about. Doesn't quite win that 50-50. Here's a chance again. Kent has to clear the lines. Matty Mumu does just that. And 2 minutes to go. Still a slender lead for this Lincoln team, but Kent once again on the attack, putting pressure on. But that is a great demo to alleviate a load of pressure for the Lincoln team. They turn it into offense. Off the crossbar. Here comes Misty. Shot. Goal.
That is Lincoln. An absolute screamer from Bowles. Didn't even really need to put much behind it, as the pass to him was so fast already onto the crossbar. The defense just panics with the power of that shot, and the follow-up is good for Lincoln. A 2-goal advantage now. Where do Kent go from here? It's going to be 2-0 down, thankfully for them. Or it's not going to be 2-0 down. They're staring down the barrel of being 2-0 down. But it's a best of 7. It's slightly longer. They've got a bit more time to build momentum and warm up into the series.
Not quite on match point just yet, but we've seen a few signs around. We've seen a few signs of what this Kent team can do. It doesn't seem fully put together, as Mumu's taken out of the defense. Fully put together Kent team as they come forward from that demo. Bowles, big clearance to the halfway line. Lumex waiting for it. Big hit off the ceiling. That will drop down. Dave G makes a clearance off the sidewall. Again, it's Lincoln pushing forward, being absolutely rampant, absolutely rabid to try and find and yet another goal that could really steal this game. With the last 50 seconds to tick down, Rainy Lotus takes out Bowles. Here comes Bang Mumu, takes it off the backboard. Lumex keeps it away from Dave G. This might be working out for this Kent team. As pushed forward, but again, it just breaks down a little bit. Last 30 seconds, Lincoln looking for one more goal to take it away from Kent. Kent just trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Kent have taken a huge step up this game, but ultimately, so have Lincoln. The game 1 was a bit shaky for both sides, and Lincoln did well to maintain their 1-goal advantage that they were able to get in the first half of that game. This one has been a bit more open, and I feel like either team could have really taken it. Kent just not quite being able to convert the opportunities that they were creating for themselves. Lincoln doing the opposite and scoring. Chance. I would say Kent do have a chance for a last gasp goal, and they do get it as well, but it's not going to matter. Lincoln taking game 2, but Kent might feel a little bit better about themselves going into game 3.
Just about a nice little consolation goal to make everyone feel a little bit better. But again, like you said, that is a much better game from Kent. Just looking at the possession stats that I have on my screen to the right, Kent getting the better of it, just about 52-48 in their favour. So much better in terms of field domination as well. Surprisingly, Kent 65-35 against this Lincoln team. Seems like Lumex is changing the car preset. I mean, we joked about beforehand, if we see someone changing the car, we really know that they're filling up against it. That they need to make a quick change to what they're bringing out onto the pitch. But Ryan, it's a better performance from Kent, but what's also going wrong that they end up losing 3-2?
I don't know. I'm not too sure, because yes, they played a lot better. I think it's just a testament to how tight Lincoln's defenses. They don't seem to panic. They always seem to be comfortable. Whereas I could kind of say the opposite for Kent. It just takes one kind of power shot or power clear or a slight whiff on defense or a clear that doesn't maybe go as far as it should have or hits the ceiling, etc. And Lincoln are quick to capitalize on that. At the other end, Lincoln's defense at the moment looks pretty watertight. So Kent, try as they might to improve their offense, Lincoln's defense is always going to be there to match it.
So we continue. Lincoln, 2-game lead. They'll be feeling a little bit comfortable, but the job is far from done. Absolutely far from done. They need to keep pushing. They want to take this series, move on in this bracket, prove predictions right so far. Kent up against the predictions and up against a 2-game deficit. Bow's coming forward. Does he get a flick upfield? So Rennie Lotus will try and move the ball. Push it back to the Lincoln line. Going for the backboard. That will drop down dangerously in front of the net. Bows will have to clear it. This might run away. It absolutely does. Lumex can't get back. And Bows finds an opening goal from just a clearance.
Yeah, you cannot allow that to happen. Like, even when it looks like you've got the upper hand and got the advantage, you've still at least got to position yourself in a way that the goalie should not just be able to shoot from end to end and the ball just roll in like that. So a bit of a breakdown in the midfield there for Kent, and it's allowed Lincoln an early goal. Kent finding themselves behind once again, and they've yet to come from behind and score. They've only scored 1 goal the entire series, actually, when you think about it, and that was a kickoff goal to kick off game 2. So Kent in perhaps a more worrying position than I initially thought they were, as they're yet to score from open play. Yeah, it's not looking great for them with Lincoln getting that opening goal in game 3. Because if Lincoln put Kent on match point in a best of 7, then I feel like we are starting to talk about the end of this series before it even really feels like it's got started.
I think the Kent team are feeling just like that. They just haven't looked all there in terms of what we know they can do. They are a good team. They just haven't gone together for them. That's a big dunk coming in. That could have been a fantastic way to get back into this. A great statement piece to dunk on your opponents and just find its way into the back of the net. Kent once again, that's blocked away from Misty and for the backboard. A perennial Lotus into the centre. Matty Mumu side flipping. There's no goal available there. Lumex locked out into the centre. Perennial Lotus will have to clear the ball. Lumex looks like he'll get hold the ball, pushing it towards the centre. Perennial Lotus whipping the ball, and here comes Lincoln. The shot saved by Maxi Mumu. A lot of patience it took not to just dive in and probably end up getting bumped. Waited out to play and found the save. Maxi Mumu again blocking out yet again. Kent's big star performer, as it were, really stepping up to the plate as that's put into the centre. Perennial Lotus can't find the goal. With 2:20 to go, yet again, Lincoln are holding on to a 1-goal lead as they did so in game 1.
Yeah, Lincoln do seem to be running rings around Kent slightly, though. I've yet to really see any convincing offense from Kent and any clear-cut goal-scoring opportunities as well. They are pressing forward nicely, and sure, they're getting the ball into the Lincoln half, but the follow-ups just haven't quite been all there. Like that one onto the backboard didn't really do anything, didn't trouble the Lincoln defense. There was no follow-up onto the backboard either. So yes, the pressure has improved somewhat for Kent, but it's still lackluster a little bit, as I thought that one was going to go all the way through. Thankfully, Lumex that time on the back line to make the clear. Dave G hitting long, Perennial Lotus. Is he going to leave this one for Matty? Yes, well communicated there as Matty comes across net, but it's going to allow Bounds to come in looking for a flip reset. Don't think he has it. Would have been a good goal scoring opportunity there had he got that flip reset, but didn't get all 4 wheels on the car at the same time, and that means no flip reset.
Matty Mumu just trying to get around the ball. Kent had an open opportunity to score. Lincoln again come forward. Here comes Misty, trying to get past Perennial Lotus. Wins the 50-50. That is an open net. Very well played in the aerial battle. And Bows will find the 2nd goal in this just as open circumstances.
Yep, 2nd goal going in for Lincoln with a minute left, and You have to feel Kent having not scored this whole game, and I'll repeat it again, only scoring one kickoff goal so far. That is Kent's only contribution to the scoreboard thus far. It's looking pretty dire for them. Like, we thought that Lincoln would win this series, but not quite in as dominant a fashion as we're seeing here. And that's no disrespect to Kent as well. They've been playing well. It's just that Lincoln have been a cut above, really.
Bowles almost finding yet another fantastic goal to add to the Lincoln repertoire, almost adding to another with the big demo. Here comes Dave G, can't drop it down. That's that moment being diffused by a few demos. Yeah, this Kent team, you can see those little moments of build-up. They're just passing together, getting link-ups. It just seems to be the last touches that they aren't putting together just right to be able to properly open up the pitch for each other. Lumex is trying to find the angle, blocked out by Lincoln. They say no, they say shut out. Once again, Lincoln let no goals in and move on to match point.
Yeah, and I've got to just try to think about what Kent can do here. So Lincoln's strong point is their defense. We've established that. Kent need to do something, whether it's demos, whether it's just hit the ball at the backboard and hope for the best, just slowly wear down the defense through just pure attrition. I can't think of much more. Infield passes, Lincoln are definitely sitting back and just allowing their rotation to circulate. And Kent is always just kind of trying to force the ball through the corner. And the defense for Lincoln is more than well equipped to deal with it. So maybe just cut inside, throw an infield pass in the mix, look for a teammate and catch that defense who are holding a like quite high back line. Just catch them napping, put a shot on target, put another shot on target. Kent have to do something. They have to change something up here because up until now, Lincoln's defense has just dealt with everything seemingly with relative ease.
I think Kent do need to be wary of when they do open up with those infield passes. We did see a few times where I think the first goal was pretty much infield passed, didn't find anyone. Bowles gets a big clearance, goes in. Yeah. They need to be careful when they time it. They need to be careful where each other are. They need to be aware of that. But all in all, it's a good plan. Lincoln are staying back quite nicely. They just need to avoid it when it comes to the transition. If Lincoln are dropping back, that's when they're still sort of wary of Kent building up. They're still in a position where they can make the play. Misty brings it forward, looking for Bowles. Here's a shot on target. Matty Mumu makes a big clearance upfield. What about Lumex? Going wide, Dave G will clear things up. But again, here's the infield pass. Matty Mumu finds a shot.
Sometimes my genius is almost frightening.
You almost hear the cogs whirring in Orion's head as he thought up that idea.
Great idea, great plan. I mean, it worked. Kent have an opening goal for the first time since Game 2, and also Kent have a goal for the first time since Game 2. But it's come at a very important time. Like, let's be real here, Kent needs a reverse sweep at this point, and now they have 2 goals for the first time in a game this series. Lincoln, the defense just falling apart. Well, there's a demo. I said about demos. I'm just... These guys should be paying me, right? I'm practically their coach at this point.
It was a slight mistake on the front post by Bowles. He said apologised in chat, but that came in at such a vicious pace. They really caught out the entire Lincoln defense. This is what I said in the first game. Kent do have a little bit of a speed advantage over the team they're against, and it comes through again. Matty Mumu gets there first, forces Lincoln into the defense that they weren't ready for. Look at that, Lumex is there, pushing the midfield. And it's 3-0. This is a fast start from Kent.
But what has happened? Like, past 2 goals, they have just pushed the ball into the corner as they have done the entire series. And for the entirety of the series, Lincoln have just rotated into that corner and got the ball clear. This time there is just no defensive rotation for Lincoln at all. They're tracking back on the same side as the ball, and they're just not able to deal with it. It's a complete breakdown of what I was praising them for.
I think the big C word might be coming into play here.
Hey, this is a family-friendly stream.
I was about to say complacency.
Oh.
Come on, Orion.
Oh.
I'm a professional Rocket League caster. I would never say the bad words.
Anyway, moving on.
Anyway, but it is a point. This Lincoln team, they might be thinking, all right, we're 3 games up, signed, sealed, and delivered. We just need one more. They might be relaxing a little bit too much. This Kent team they're good enough to make the most of it, and they have done. It's been an extremely fast start that I think Lincoln just didn't recognize were happening. They didn't recognize that the team would be coming out that quickly against them after dropping the last 3. And I tell you what, Kent have really come out the gates. 3 quick goals. They've kept the defense going. Matty Mumu looking to make it 4, ends up doing a little bit of a fake, and Perennial Lotus will be responsible for the 4th goal.
Yeah, Lincoln have really just taken their foot off the gas. The defense is non-existent for them. It was just fouls in net. Whereas we've seen in the past 3 games a fully stacked defensive rotation for Lincoln. So whether they're just, vibing at this point and we've won the series, etc., don't really need to try anymore, all of that kind of stuff. That's how it seems to me, at least, because Kent are currently putting on the most dominant display in a game we've seen yet. But given how the series has looked as a whole, that's not what we should be seeing.
Trying to make 1 goal up. This is an important moment for Lincoln. They need to remember who they're up against. They're in the playoffs. Everyone's going to turn up. Fouls puts one into the top shelf. 2:22 to go. 3 goals is still possible, so they've set up a little bit of a comeback here. But it seems like that complacency might have subsided for the moment and might be replaced by confidence once again.
It could well turn into a game of 2 halves if Lincoln wake up a little bit and actually start playing as we've seen them in games 1, 2, and 3. But by this point, Kent might have done enough. Like, 4 goals is a big ask, even for Lincoln, who have looked good in the series so far. The most that they've scored in a game yet is 3. And they're going to have to do that in 2 minutes here. They might get another one here with a lovely flick from Dave G. Just goes around the outside of both and flonks that one in the far post. So they have halved the deficit already, have Lincoln. And still 2 minutes left to go. It's possible, but that would really be a kick in the teeth for Kent, wouldn't it? If Lincoln were able to come back and still finish off the sweep, despite Kent going 4-0 up in game 4.
It's an awful one to take into a lower bracket. Being 4 goals ahead and being taken back and beaten and being swept. Horrible situation to be in as Misty tried to make it a reality there. Bring them within 1 goal. Lumex taken out of the picture. Back to Dave G. Matsi Mumu in towards the centre. Misty blocked out. Here's a chance for Kent to push up field. They still have possession. Here's Perennial Lotus going around the side. Try to get it past Bows. Doesn't find it. But Lumex could have been a better touch. They did draw out 1 player from the Lincoln team. Dave G in towards the centre. Misty gets the first touch. Straight to the Kent backboard. Here comes Bows. Backboard once again. This team playing back lines of Kent. Kent seems to be letting it happen for a moment. Now they can push up field. Here comes Perennial Lotus in towards the centre. No one there for, it has to be said, the first time this game. No one from Kent really pushing up field. Chance from Perennial Lotus going wide. Last minute to tick down. There's still an opportunity here for this side. Oh, that is sublime from Lincoln as they bring it within 1.
Oh, that's an absolute scorcher. The pass from Bowles straight down to Misty. Beautifully worked from the 2 teammates there. And as you say, they brought it back within a goal. Lincoln are looking rejuvenated on offense. They had a bit of a wobble on defense as Kent pushed forward. But every time they push up, they're looking dangerous. They're looking like they're going to create opportunities that will ultimately trouble Kent. Kent, I feel, need to score again. Lincoln could actually take them to a 4-4 overtime here. And I don't know how much I rate Kent's chances. We see wall dashes coming through from Misty. He gets a demo for his troubles as well. Bowles, here we go. Can he get this? Ceiling shot from Bowles, and it's gone in. Bowles, absolute maestro in the air. Brings it to 4-4 with 20 seconds left.
Absolutely monstrous from this Lincoln team. They gave Kent a bit of hope, 4 goals worth of hope, but they snatched it away in the space of about 2 minutes. Now they could be taking it away completely. Dave G blocked out by Matimumi though, here towards the side. The last few seconds to tick down. Is this going to be overtime? Or are Lincoln really going to steal away this game? In fact, it hasn't been stolen at all. They've just been absolutely marvellous. It's still the same. Kent have been swept in the most dramatic fashion in Game 4. 5-4 for Lincoln in the space of 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
Oh my word. That is ridiculous from Lincoln. They looked so like not themselves, allowed 4 goals to be scored on them from Kent and just dusted it off like it was nothing. 5-4 with a 0-second goal. That is absolutely brutal for Kent. Fair play to Lincoln. I thought they had lost that game well and truly. But to come back and score 5 in 2.5 minutes, come on, guys.
That was brutal for Kent to experience. We started off that game with Lincoln experience 1 word beginning with C, complacency, and they ended it with complete domination, complete the sweep. Lincoln A, the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds might have been their best Rocket League they've played this season to ensure they move on to the next round.
And the next round we will have shortly. I don't think we have any results. I have been checking our little channel, which Sigmoid is keeping an eye on, but I think this will probably be the first one to come in. So we're going to throw to a short break, but when we do come back, we will have the an upper bracket semi-final for you between either UEA or Lancaster or Loughborough or Warwick. Back very shortly. Don't go anywhere.
What is that?
It's cutting edge VR, Flynn.
It looks like it's something from the future, you know?
Flynn took a trip to future London, saw something she wasn't supposed to. Now people from there are trying to kill us.
Transcend humanity with Omen.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to the playoffs of the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. And welcome to an upper bracket semi-final between Loughborough and UEA Blue Jays. RW Dragon, you want to take us through some of the results in that upper bracket that have just gone on in the previous round?
So I think that both of us will be happy to know that we got 4 out of 4 in terms of our match predictions. Roehampton versus Loughborough B ended up being 4 easy 0. Roehampton, I got that the wrong way around. Whoopsie daisy. Roehampton winning in a sweep, just like Lincoln A, who we saw on stream. So that will be a battle of the sweepers. And in fact, it was a matching result in the lower half of this upper bracket. UEA Blue Jays beating Lancaster 4-2, and Loughborough Lions with the exact same scoreline beating Warwick Williams Resolve, which means being eliminated today is one of Loughborough B or Rockenteers and Lancaster League facing off against Warwick Williams Resolve to keep their playoff dreams alive. But we're all about the upper bracket on this stream, and we have UEA versus Loughborough.
Yep. Well, on the other side of the upper bracket, we have Roehampton versus Lincoln, but we don't need to talk much about that because Roehampton will win. But this one, it's much harder to call. Loughborough have won Newell previously. You can't see on screen, but they are all rocking Supersonic Legend tags. So this is an absolutely stacked team in terms of their actual rank in the game. But UEA have the credentials. They are the current Newell champions, at least in the winter split, where they won in Nottingham versus Warwick in the grand finals. Will they get dethroned here by Loughborough? They did drop to the lower bracket of the playoffs in the winter split in round 2. I can't remember who to, by the way, but they did drop down. So are we going to see a repeat here and then a god tier lower bracket run from UEA? Or are they going to stay alive in that upper bracket and potentially be facing Roehampton in the upper bracket final?
I do believe they did actually face off against Loughborough in that run to get to Nottingham and have become the eventual winners last split. And I think this is a complete carbon copy of that matchup. We've got Stam, Turblo, and Krookie facing off against Ant-Man, Eclatmakers, and Snipe. So this is a complete rematch from that lower bracket run. Can UEA do the same thing? It's tough to say. I mean, we've got a saying in the university Rocket League scene. It's UEA certified moments. They win against teams they shouldn't and lose against teams that they shouldn't. That's a UEA moment personified. Is it going to be the same here with Loughborough? Will they actually have a UEA moment and give Loughborough an opportunity to move on in the upper brackets to face off against the winner of Roehampton and Lincoln? It's very possible.
It is possible, and we will see what comes to fruition here. Will Loughborough be able to get their revenge for being knocked out of the winter split playoff bracket? In the lower bracket, they lost 4-3 to UEA, who eventually went on to win. If Loughborough want revenge, now's the time.
UEA will look to keep their upper bracket run going. Stam fakes out Ant-Man. Tries to put past the Eclatmakers. Snipe on the back. Lions make clearance. Krookie upfield. Here comes Stam. Whipping on the play. Still, Loughborough coming forward with just the brighter opportunities at the moment. Better defense. being able to transition upfield just a little bit quicker than their opponents. Turblo lost it to Stam. The shot is a rocket there. Ant-Man has to push out wide, and it's still Loughborough in charge of this game, and Snipe will play that away. Stam will play it to the backboard. Here's an opportunity for Loughborough. It just pops up so unkindly for Crookie. Not so much for Stam, but great save from Ant-Man will deny them the first goal of the game.
Yeah, what an opening to game one. Great opportunities on either side. Both teams just showing their chemistry, showing why they are so high ranked and also so well respected in the university scene as well. This is top tier gameplay right out of the bat, but as of yet, no team scoring. That is a double commit from Loughborough, though. It could allow UEA to come through as Snipe. Touches it to himself, gets a nice little flip over one, but gets a bump into midair. Mackers is there to pick up the pieces, though, and it gets UEA on the board first in game one.
Turblo just moving out to try and clear out the midfield line. Little did he know it was actually the back post where all the danger was coming from. Mackers coming in to get the first goal in. UEA, after almost an entire minute and a half of Loughborough pressure, it's UEA who actually gets the goal that puts one of the teams ahead. Mackers big clear. Crookie has to send it up high.
Stan with a touch into the corner now. Should be able to get the clear around one as well. And to send it into the midfield with a nice little touch over the top. Turblo to finish as well. Beautiful play coming out from Loughborough. Stan with that nice little ground pinch infield over Snipe. Turblo deals the dagger blow.
That is a great way to get back to 1-8 piece. So here we go again. Tied up in the score line, still of course tied up in the games at the start of the series. Snipe towards the centre, no one playing that ball, and towards the centre again. Crookie escapes from the rule 2. Mackers out towards the side, across the diagonal, but again stands there, pushing out towards the centre. Here comes Crookie for Loughborough, out towards the diagonal on the opposite side of the pitch. Here's Turblo, shot on target. That's a big pinch to the opposite end of the pitch. Won't threaten the goal release for the moment. Stam gets the clearance. Still 1-1 for the moment. That was a nervy moment for the Loughborough team to watch as that man bears down on that ball.
Just being held up in the corner at the moment as Snipe tries to get it clear. Has done so, just about. Mackers with a 50 in the midfield, but Stam being receipt of possession here. Gets the flip down, but Ant-Man reading it well. UEA regrouping on defense. Ant-Man can't get around Crookie though, and Mackers has pushed up as well. Stam with the shot. It should have been on target, but it's just over the top of the bar. And in a game as close as this, will he come back to rue that one?
Might do so. As Loughborough looking to open up the net. No demo found on the back lines. That's the opportunity the Loughborough were going for. I think Crookie was just staying grounded, looking for the low player to get rid of those. Ant-Man at the backboard that makes the clearance. Mackers is turned on the backboard. He's done for the clearance. Try and fake out Turblo. Doesn't work. This is a chance for Loughborough. They jump on the opportunity. Here comes Crookie. The shot on target. No one there for UEA. 2-1 Loughborough.
Yeah, it's just small mistakes like that. Mackers thought he had the fake, but Turblo just standing firm there, waiting for something to happen, and Loughborough pouncing on the opportunity. Crookie slams it down from the heavens, and Loughborough have a lead. Once again, 2-1, a minute 30 left on the clock, but something tells me that this game is far from over as Mackers puts one straight back in off the kickoff, and we're back to all square here in game one.
That was a big 50-50 and a big sign that that was going to be a little bit of a twist to the tail, just as you were talking about it. Quite a positive caster's curse for this UEA side to make the most of. Moving towards the centre of the side, keeping possessions. That hits off the diagonal. Looks like Mackers will be on throwing that, but that's a big weak touch. Stam will be there, but Ant-Man also equal to that. Clearing the shot from the line. UEA. Good clearance from the Snipe. Player from Loughborough being designated demoer, and it has opened up the pitch, it has opened up the play. Crookie makes it 3-2.
Max is just kind of overplaying a little bit, if that's a word, like just trying to be a bit too inventive or a bit too flashy, a bit too clever. just needs to kind of do the vanilla option half the time, I feel, because we saw him go up from an aerial there in absolute no man's land, and even if he had made contact, it wouldn't have had that much of an impact on the game. So I think Macca's just needs to calm down a little bit as Loughborough once again on the front foot, UA on the back. Can they find a way back into game one again as Loughborough continue to pepper the UEA net with shot after shot? Crookie into the middle, and there was someone following up, but it was defended well at the near post. Macca's shot onto the crossbar. Crookie almost with the own goal, but fine stab at the far post. Loughborough survive a bit of a scare there of their own doing.
UEA will try and generate their own scare. Zatman takes possession of the midfield line. Flicks it past one. Won't get past Crookie. Once again, Loughborough pushing upfield. Just little touches to take it away from the UEA side. It's just putting enough pressure on them. The last 10 seconds to tick down. Black Macca's trying to get past one. Doesn't quite do so, but it's still an opportunity for UEA. Stam, big clearance. This is a big moment in the series. UEA will be down in the early goings. That will drop almost to the floor. Here's the opportunity. Black Macca's
No way.
keeps it up. The
No
flick,
way.
just off target. Snipe can't get there. Snipe can't get there, and Loughborough will just about take game one by the skin of their teeth.
Man, Macca's known for his 1v1 ability there, had absolute ice in his veins as he powered his way towards goal, flicked it over one, but the flick on target the flick on goal was just off target. Such a close game one, though. Literally the finest of margins deciding it. Both teams look great on offense. Both teams look great on defense. This has all the ingredients for an absolutely fantastic series.
Looks like we're having a quick technical moment for these players, but that just gives a little bit of extra time for us to think about this series. I mean, UEA, just at the end.
The end of something. At the end of that game, started to look a bit better, is what I'm imagining that Dragon was probably saying there.
Black Macca's doesn't quite go for it. This entire game, I think you point. Yes.
Hello? Have you returned?
Yes. Don't know what's going on. This is silly internet things. But pretty much what I was saying. It was starting to look a little bit better from UEA, but still, it came down to what you said in the middle of the series. Eclat Macca's is just trying to go for everything a little bit too complicated. Sometimes doing the basic thing of just smashing it clear when you're unsure what to do is the best option. Absolutely the best option to just get rid of it. And that's what they need to do. Just do the basic things on defense. You can get a bit flashy on the offense.
Yeah, you can. I mean, game one was just like crazy, just hammer blow after hammer blow, back and forth. My game 7 senses are tingling, to be honest with you. It feels like it could go all the way. The last time that they faced each other in playoffs, it did, and UEA came out on top. Can Loughborough do the opposite? They've gone on and won game one, but I mean, UEA did not look like any kind of pushover in that game one. They looked just as good as Loughborough. Could have gone either way, and I feel like that's what we're going to be saying at the end of every game. That could have gone either way. That could have gone either way, and maybe we'll end up at a game 7 to decide it all.
Yeah, it does perfectly encapsulate the series that we're literally just saying it could go this way, it could go that way. It's Rocket League. It can go whatever way these players can guide it. It's this entire series we talked about it from the start. It's completely up in the air. Both of these teams absolutely deserving of moving on to the next stage of this competition in terms of the upper bracket. Only one of them can make that step. Only one of them can keep challenging for that top grand final spots where they get the no bracket reset they have to worry about. But it genuinely could be either of these teams that progress. And at the moment, Loughborough, they're just about looking better. They are really just about looking better.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, they definitely had the upper hand in game one. And overall, I would say look the better team. UEA just making a few careless mistakes. Macca's especially didn't look didn't look in his prime form. Just looked like he was kind of rushing himself a little bit, and not quite having the impact that I'm used to seeing him have on games. Um, so I feel like UEA could definitely grow into the series as well. They have definitely not hit their peak performance in that first game, despite still looking very competitive. So I feel like they could flip the switch and surprise Loughborough as well. But equally, Loughborough winning game one does bode well for them going forward in the series.
It seems like we do have the technical difficulties sorted out. We have the teams ready and rejoined. Here we go. Restarting the series. And as always, we put in the question mark. Who does this break? Who does this break really benefit? Is it going to be Loughborough? Is it going to be UEA? It's tough to call, especially how divided that first game was. Who is going to benefit from just a small gap between this series?
I can confirm as well, I've had news from the other series that Roehampton have dropped a game to Lincoln. Game one was decided by a 2-minute overtime, and Lincoln won that game 3-2. So no chance of a Roehampton sweep, but you've got to think that Roehampton should be able to come back and beat Lincoln ultimately. But we're not going to focus on them for too much longer, as we are firmly back in this series now. In game two, Loughborough took game one, and they're looking to do the same here as they are currently on offense. Turblo with a lofty shot over the top. Top left corner from Turblo. Lovely placement, and Loughborough on top again in game two.
That entire time, UEA were just looking so uncomfortable when it came to dealing with that ball, and Turblo coming through, just managing to find a looping shot over. And Loughborough once again leading. And let this game go with their series lead. That trying to take control, gets away to Stam, a little bit of a backplay coming through as Crocky using the offensive pressure. Play still in the hands of the Loughborough side. And then in the corner. Very, very Crocky. It's a little bit messy in this corner, but it's still almost Loughborough possession, I would say. Just about getting the most of the 50-50. Snipe gets in the way. Here's an opportunity. Here's UA's chance. Snipe can't find the net. From the 50-50. It's still in Loughborough half. Cleared out by Crookie. And we reset and go again.
UEA look like they're being stifled on offense. They're just kind of sending one player at a time, really. They did kind of default to this before, as I've seen previously, although that one's just going to go in. Interesting. Ant-Man with a double commit with, I believe it was Snipe there. But Ant-Man gets the shot off, down off the crossbar, and in off of Stam.
I feel like Stam is the one that gets in that very unfortunate position so much. It's almost every single time I watch a Loughborough series, it's always Stam getting stuck in the line and unfortunately turning one into his own net. We need to move on from that. Sure it will. This team has such a strong mental in the way that they play, the way they go about things. On this line for too long would have been sorry, and let's keep going. Tonight to Ant-Man, that is fantastic. That is a sublime passing play from UEA as they make it 2-1.
Yeah, that is as speedy as you like. Snipe just continues to follow that ball, drops it down, and Turblo, try as he might, could not match the pace that was put behind that shot. UEA back into the lead here, but how long for? Loughborough seems to have an answer for anything that UEA do. Ant-Man double flip reset, but it's not going to come off for him. Macca's following up as well. Snipe seems to press up as the third man there and benefiting from it as well. Stam finally gets a clear away. Might be able to get a flip reset here. Just has to opt for the touchdown, and Snipe picks up the pieces. Turblo trying to send it back into the mixer. Might be able to get a shot off of his own and does so, but Ant-Man at that near post, just forcing it back into the corner. No! That's a mistake, though, from UEA, and Loughborough getting back on level pegging, courtesy of Crookie.
That's a big miss. I think that was just about a mistouch from Equal Mackers that actually turned it into the net. I'm wanting so much more communication from the UEA team. We've seen a lot of goal commits, we've seen a lot of simple misplays coming in from this side. Really should not be playing like this. Time at 2 apiece. 2 minutes to go. Turbo sending it high, being shot. Away by Ant-Man, straight down to Mackers, off the diagonal in towards the centre. What a shot by Equal Mackers, making up for the mistake and restoring the 1-goal lead.
And the defense, a little bit half asleep there. Crookie, I think, was the culprit there. Went for the boost, went to go to net, and thought, you know what? Maybe I can reach this ball. Oh, no, I can't. And that is what allowed Mackers there. A pretty free shot on goals, just had to put it on target. Nice low roller. UEA back in front again. I've said it 3 times so far this game, and Loughborough seeming to always find an answer. Are they going to find one again, or are UEA be tying up this series score here? That will remain to be seen, as Loughborough once again on the offense. Stam gets it underneath one. He's just biding his time, trying to bait out the defenders, but ultimately clear coming through for UEA. Now Ant-Man through the smoke into the corner. Mackers going for bumps. Turblo doesn't have any boost in the tank, but has managed to hold the ball up, and courtesy of a little love tap there from one of the UEA players, does get the ball clear temporarily.
UEA threatening once again, just a little bit. Loughborough also starting to turn up the pressure a little bit. This is just starting to become a lot better. The UEA team, just as Turbo moves forward past one. The Snipe, a little bit more aggression coming in from UEA, and this is what's happening. They have slightly overcommit. Crookie has an open net. He scores just as I was complimenting UEA's turn up on the aggression, the pressure. It really just unfolds. And Loughborough just waiting for the right moment to get a demo and counter.
Yeah, it really was that demo that opened things up for them. Then the midfield player, or third player back, was just high on the midfield line and got demoed by Turbo from behind. And that just allowed a wide open net to present itself. So 3 goals apiece here. UEA have taken the lead 3 times, and 3 times they have been shut down, and Loughborough have equalised. See what kind of a conclusion this game has in store. Are we going to get a grandstand finish, or is it going to be a long and drawn out overtime to see who takes game 2?
Back lines, just that is not the right clearance. Snipe coming past, unable to keep the touch going. That's 20 seconds to Loughborough on the attack now. They could be able to steal it. How about Snipe? How about Snipe coming in to steal it as it gets rid of one defender? Equal Mackers in towards the middle. Ant-Man is there, blocked by Stam. What about Snipe again? The shot goes wide. The last 4 seconds. 0 seconds on the clock. It's still up in the air. Stam off the backboard. Here's a shot from Turbo. Doesn't come off. That would have been an absolute rip-roaring finish to this game. That shot is just smashed off the car of Turbo in towards the net. Stam locks it out. Here's the play for Loughborough. This could be the win right here. White. Loughborough in the way. Just past Turbo. Pressure coming in for UEA. Again, diffused quite nicely by this Loughborough team. We're able to quickly turn it into a positive on the attack. At the moment, things are being diffused very quickly between both these sides. Big clearances. At the moment, everything being a little bit pressurized in this overtime.
Yeah, no real clear-cut opportunities, as you would imagine. Both teams playing it slightly cautiously. There's an opening at the far end now. Turbo going to rotate back post. Rookie might be able to get back to this as well, and does so. That's a great clear, putting it over to that far side. Turbo in control, gets the block as well. This could be a big opportunity, but Ant-Man gets the clear at the other side. It really does feel like a game 1 ping-pong at the moment. As Snipe, can he go all the way with this? Drops it down. Turbo with a miss. Mackers surely gets the shot. It's just wide of the mark, and Stam clearing up on the back line. Loughborough forming a more solid defensive rotation now. You saw Crookie and net there, but Turblo might be able to get the clear. No boost though. Crookie coming forwards and sending it into the corner. Snipe, not clear that he would have wanted, but sent on and helped on by Ant-Man and Mackers in turn. Stam, that's a very loose ball for Snipe to pounce on, but still opportunities presenting themselves, but the defense of both sides holding firm.
Crookie really needed to make that clearance and does so. Getting towards 2 minutes into this overtime. One team has to make a mistake, and at the moment I'm leaning towards Loughborough. It's just about not fast enough to keep up with UEA as they turn out the pressure. Stop on the line. Turblo gets back and sends it wide and keeps the pressure going. Big clearance. Ant-Man now pressure on him as he pushes out towards the side. Stam into the center. Crookie blocked out by Snipe. Turblo sends it wide. The opportunity goes begging for Loughborough as the Mackers and Snipe push it towards the other end. And this time, Stam is the hero for Loughborough as we keep going. No one's scoring just yet, but so many close opportunities, but neither team making the most of them. Mackers blocks it out at the halfway line. Ant-Man again blocking it at the halfway line. Crookie, the shot going wide. That was a dangerous moment that UEA players did not go for. Stam trying to play the backboard, but nothing quite happening for this Loughborough team. But at the same time, this UEA side are looking so uncomfortable on the defense. It could be just one little mistake again that lets Loughborough pass to gives them a 2-game lead in this series.
Yeah, it's getting a bit more fraught, a bit more fractious on both sides. You can see the nerves are starting to come through, breakdowns in communication. But still we continue with 3 minutes left. Ant-Man leaves it for Snipe, who is flying towards the ball, but not quite going to make contact. Stam was re-jumping off the wall. Turblo in control, misses the ball though. Should be able to grab that mid-boost and pick up the play as Crookie does so. Ant-Man into the air. What can he do with this? Go for the flip reset? Not quite. Just tries to touch it past the defender. Snipe. Blocked by Turblo. Nice little free jump there to get in the way of that. Can Mackers find the drop? No, it's Crookie! On to Stam. They managed to survive. Somehow Turblo gets the block as well. Loughborough survived by the skin of their teeth. Infield pass to absolutely nobody. And Ant-Man tracks all the way back. That was so close, but somehow they were able to coordinate, saving that own goal.
Sanity, that could have been the moment, absolutely. Ant-Man into the center, Snipe playing it forward. Here comes the Mackers looking for the play underneath. Turblo is going to be equal to that. Push forward, flick towards net, can't find it. Crookie can't join in and finally make an assist for Turblo. That moves upfield. Snipe clearing the line, but again it's Turblo again. Fakes one, tries to get it past Ant-Man, cleared out of the way. Crookie, the shot just off target. Here comes the Mackers. Unable to get through. And this is well held by Loughborough. They are holding UEA back. Here's the moment that could break it for Ant-Man and UEA's at full court. But again, pushed back by Loughborough. This halfway line is just where everything's going on, including Loughborough's mistakes. They're all double committed, getting the same spot as Stam has to come to the rescue yet again and making the block. Turblo upfield. Mackers will have to clear it off the back lines. Upfield, Crookie's not there, Stam is. Orion, this is such frantic overtime.
It really is. We played an entire another game of regular Rocket League here. As a double commit, we're starting to see the cracks appear from Loughborough. Ant-Man with the shot. It's a low roller, and it's gone in from Ant-Man after 5 minutes and 19 seconds. UEA tie up the series.
Turblo almost there, almost sending that wide. But it's the perfect shot from Ant-Man to make sure that found the bottom right corner. Ooh, what an overtime. That will get the blood running, won't it? It's got the adrenaline going for me. I'm not sure about you, Orion, but that was a crazy way for game 2 to go.
Yeah, that was incredibly exciting. And I said that it was going to be close. I didn't know it was going to be quite that close, that it would take 10 minutes total to decide a single game here. But I am in for it. I am in for the long ride here. Give me all of this. Because this is it. This is peak UK University Rocket League at its best. And I just want it to continue. I think Game 7 is definitely a likelihood. The only thing that would stop that is if one team starts to falter. And I mean really falter. We saw Loughborough have a wobble in that overtime. Towards the end of it, I mean, can you blame them, really? It must have been so nervous. But they did have a wobble. They lost their cool a little bit, whereas UEA were able to maintain it just that little bit more. Is that going to be the story of the series? Let's find out.
The thing is, with the track record of UEA, the question is, are they going to falter? Because that would be a certified UEA moment. After winning an insane overtime, they could be letting in easy goals like that and let the series run away from them.
Yeah, there was a strange 50-50 there. Ant-Man, yeah, I think he maybe jumped off the wall and wave dashed into it, but just ended up further forward than he wanted to. And, well, Rookie just used him as a golf tee, really. Powered it straight into the net. Sniper's not going to get there on this one either. And an early lead for Loughborough has been doubled straight away off the kickoff.
We talked about a team faltering. This is not a great start for UEA if they wanted to make sure that they weren't the team to falter. They would find themselves 2 goals behind early. And demoed off the kickoff. And once again, position forwards to Rookie. Field for the flipping set, blocked out by Snipe. Here's Turblo, the shot on target. Actually, the gentle shot means that the team are ready and back and waiting at the halfway line to make the most of it. Being a smart little plan play from this Loughborough team as well as fake out Snipe to get possession once again. I think the way that Loughborough are playing a little bit, it reminds me of trying to make the opposing team their own enemies, their own worst enemies. Getting their hits to be set on target. 5. What happens? Away. Just calm down just a little bit, Orion. 3 minutes 20 to go. Still 2-goal lead for Loughborough.
Yeah, things have settled down from that overtime. I think both teams are starting to get into their rhythm once again. Loughborough definitely more than UEA, who haven't quite been as prominent on offense as we've seen them previously. Loughborough looking stronger and looking more composed defense and definitely looking clinical on offense as well. So the flick, Turblo has no boost, so Sam has to bail him out, and that's a nice pass over into the corner for Crookie to take care of. Nice air dribble, gets to the top of one, gets bumped as well, and almost gets the block on Ant-Man, who was last back there. So Loughborough definitely have the right ideas at the moment. Execution is not quite there. Speaking of execution, have to feel that Snipe should have scored there, but the drop down just eluding him slightly. Sam in a very awkward spot, and I don't think he had a whole lot of boost in the tank there, because that save looked incredibly difficult.
About 40 left. I think it was more of very uncomfortable over the shoulder save. It really caught out Stam. I think a flip, just a dodge in the wrong direction to send it away. UEA now has a bit more of a lifeline, a little bit more of a grip in this game. It's blocked out on the midfield line by their own players. Cookie, that's Turblo. The shot saved by Snipe straight off the redirect. Got right in the face of their opposing number to make sure that was blocked. Turblo around to the side, good pinch upfield, putting pressure on UEA again. Ant-Man over one, Stam and Turblo both up. Eclat Mackers pushing it straight back. Snipe keeps it going. Pressure on. Stam once again has to block that away. Does so successfully this time in a bit more of a comfortable situation. Snipe over the top. Eclat Mackers is there off the crossbar. That could have easily been the tied game. Ant-Man pushing it around the corner, trying to get it towards the centre. Can't quite find it. And Loughborough can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. They've handled a little bit more of the UEA pressure.
Yeah, they have, but UEA are starting to play a little bit differently. They were just kind of doing
one by one.
What has happened here? It's just a sandwich pinch straight down from Stam, I believe. Oh, that's unfortunate. Ant-Man was there to punish as well. And Loughborough, by their own doing, now find themselves... well, we find ourselves at a tie game here, with Loughborough seeming to be in control up until that point. But does the dynamic change now? Do we end up with another overtime situation here and Loughborough starting to panic slightly? I have to worry for them a little bit.
Oh, snipe! Almost sniping the top corner, but it'll be Ant-Man who finishes off the play. What an absolute smasher of a flick. It is so unfortunate that is not the way they get ahead.
I mean, the flick was more powerful than Ant-Man's shot in the end, and that went in at 103. Snipe, what did you have for breakfast? Oh, it's not going to go in for an own goal. No, a kickoff goal, is it? Not quite. UEA.
Oh, great play.
They have to hold on. Snipe gets another one. 4-2 UEA. Loughborough are starting to fade in the series. That is my take anyway. What do you think about that, Dragon? Do you think that Loughborough are starting to just wear out a little bit and UEA are warming up, or do you think it's still a very, very even series?
I think it's almost a little bit of just pressure and a little bit of cracking underneath it. They get 2 goals up, they think, all right, we should be able to hang in there for this win, and they end up conceding 2 goals. Stam is going to be kicking himself, especially about that second one. I think the first one you can sort of hold your hands up and say, yeah, that was a very tricky save in the situation he got into. But the second one, that is a mistake. It cannot happen. The rest of this has been Loughborough being desperate, trying to get back into this. And Snipe having an absolute belter of a flick. It has to be said, that third goal was just down to an absolute blast that took it past everyone. And this goal that might be going in, yes it does. Yeah, it's Loughborough getting desperate. It's Loughborough overcommitting just a little bit too far. But when you're 2 goals down with that much time left, you can't really blame them.
Yeah, I feel like the way Loughborough are playing, like in the latter stages, the very late stages of this game, aren't reflective of how they've been playing as a whole, which has been good. Like, I can't really fault either team, to be honest with you. UEA have ironed out their mistakes. They're playing more as a cohesive unit, and they're playing more to their own strengths as well. And I mean, I watched them demolish Warwick and Roehampton in the finals. This is more the UEA that showed up to that finals. Game 1 UEA in this series, I had my doubts, I'll be honest. But now they're starting to look better. They're starting to find their rhythm and starting to vibe with each other. Loughborough need to be a bit worried here, because that was a more dominant performance. Up until now, it's been a 2-horse race, right? But now UEA is starting to feel like they have the upper hand here.
I'm lagging out. Okay, maybe not.
No, you're not.
It is a tricky. There we go. I think I was lagging out for a moment, but yeah, I was for some reason Discord is perfectly fine, so I was hearing that great analysis of what's going on with this Loughborough team and the UEA team itself. UEA, they're getting better, and I completely agree with what you said at the end. This is not representative of the Loughborough team. They were just getting desperate. They needed goals in a short amount of time. They had to put pressure on. They let a few through. That's fine. The question is going to be about why they let those 2 goals in the first place to let UEA back in. That is going to be the question on their minds. Stam, like I said, he's going to be kicking himself that he let them through on defense. But at the same time, I think I said it in game 1 or 2, this Loughborough team mentally are built different. They will come back from this and they'll be much, much stronger, even with the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll counter that as well, though. UEA's mental is pretty insane as well. Like, they were just so unbothered by, like, the whole spectacle of playing on land. And even despite them being called the underdogs going into that land, they were just like, yeah, it's whatever. We'll just play our game and, you know, we think we're better than them. And they proved it. There was, like, not even a flutter of nerves. And I think that's what we're seeing again here. It's just, it's playoffs, but they're playing to their strengths. They're having fun with each other. I will say that is an absolutely brilliant save from Crookie. Is it going to matter though? Ant-Man trying to get that flip reset on target, not coming through for him. Hackers with the touch, but you can see now that they're looking for each other more. Before they were just kind of going one followed by the other, because these are three very mechanical players. They can do that if they want to.
No.
You want to take that one?
Just Stam. It's gone bad for us for this series.
Yep.
There is almost no way you can predict that happening. It comes down to what the other person's doing. He went in for a 50-50 to try and almost push it out towards the center and open things up for Loughborough. Just didn't get enough of the 50. So it ends up flying off at the other end. Unfortunately enough for UEA, it falls into the net. So once again, we have a 2-goal scoreline. This time in the opposite direction. Can Loughborough copy what UEA did and find 2 goals before the end? And maybe run away with this game like their opponents did.
I'm not sure. Loughborough is starting to look second best. They're starting to look nervous. They're starting to make mistakes. That was a double commit there. You couldn't see it, but I definitely heard another Loughborough player fly past the back of the ball. The mistakes are starting to appear. The cracks are starting to show. And meanwhile, UEA are just looking better and better. So Loughborough, I feel like they're on a bit of a downturn right now. And they've got maximum of this game, really, to kind of pick it up. I feel like this game is going to go in favor of UEA, and they are going to be put on match point. But then we will see what Loughborough are made of. Loughborough on match point is when Loughborough typically play their best historically, and they've still got Stam on the team, who has definitely been a part of that Loughborough history. The 2 other players, Turblo and Crookie, not so much, but under Stam's leadership, I'm sure that they have been well versed in the Loughborough lore, what they have to live up to. Shout out to Matt M. But
I mean, it's not only Stam. They've got Crimson on the replay.
Yeah, that's true. They've got Crimson coaching as well. Yeah.
Of course, WCB player and women's competition. I believe Crimson has won at least a few, or done extremely well in WCBC and other competitions. Just cannot for the life of me what Team Crimson are. So I was thinking it was Williams. I think it was Williams for a little bit. I'm not sure if she is on the team now.
I think she's on with Ducks and.
I might be thinking of Endpoint then, and that's why I was getting confused. Crimson's still on it. Williams, thank you very much for the production. I was definitely thinking of Endpoint because I was thinking of Takara, Elanis, and I'm bad with names now. Fantastic, brilliant. Thinking too much of this series.
Names aside, we should turn our attention back to this series, where not a lot has really happened since UEA scored those 2 opening goals. Loughborough have been quiet, but as too have UEA. There's been no real kind of explosive offensive pushes, or that's an explosive shot from Turbo, but that man is dealing with the danger. But there hasn't really been a whole lot to comment on. It's just been a stagnant stalemate.
I hate it when they do that. I absolutely hate it when they do that, and they're playing against their own backboard to sort of make the clearance, because they've done it so many times, and it's just rattled off the post. Almost every single occasion that both teams have done it.
Well, it's been 4 minutes, and Loughborough still haven't found a way through, and at this point, I don't think they're going to. And UEA will go into a game 5, which could be the final game. They will be 3-1 up in the series here. Yeah, and Loughborough, I don't know. They've gotten progressively worse as the series has gone on, and UEA have just gotten progressively better. It's not what you want to be seeing if you're a Loughborough fan.
And UEA in this state, they've not been unbeatable in a way. They've been very good. They've been much better and improving, of course, like you say. But they're still just mistakes creeping in this UEA team that Loughborough's just not making the most of. And now they're starting to let those opportunities pass them by, and that's the real sort of conversation point. This Loughborough team, they're getting worse because they're not taking on anything that UEA does.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary, to be honest. I mean, the first game was super close, and Loughborough ultimately came out on top, but we said it could have gone either way, right? Second game, that 5-minute overtime, I feel like that is probably going to be a turning point in the series, to be honest, because after UEA won that, they could see that they had made their opponents uncomfortable just by the sheer pressure of the situation of that overtime. And that was only in game 2. And ever since then, Loughborough just haven't really got their mojo back. They don't have that kind of swagger about them that we saw in game 1, that UEA have adopted now as well. So Loughborough have got to find their form back. We know they're capable of it. They're definitely capable of matching UEA. They're just not showing it at the moment.
Well, after our first series on stream went to a sweep, it's the first time that we are seeing Wasteland tonight. So I believe that this is series point for UEA. 3 games to 1. Turbo moving forward. And we'll find a way past, sort of trying to fake out the side flick in towards the centre. And here's an opportunity for Ant-Man and an open net to shoot on. Loughborough have just come out trying to start swinging, but they've left their back open. And Ant-Man can finish things off.
Yeah, huge overcommit from Loughborough. They were so keen to get off the mark and get an early goal, but in doing so, shot themselves in the foot because the ceiling shot over towards Ant-Man and an open net as well. I think there was even a demo in the midfield line to boot. Really caused problems, although that is an absolute belter of a shot from Turblo. Using the Dominus to full effect there. Stam puts it on a silver platter and Turblo slots it top corner. Macca's was millimeters away, but that was enough for it to find its way home.
Octanes don't hit those. That is a Dominus hitbox only kind of shot. Okay, I feel this is the Loughborough team. Sort of, they've taken their time. They haven't readied up instantly between the games. I think they've been using the time to sort of regroup and talk. Macca is trying to get the goal. What a save on the line by Stam. Made a fair few mistakes at some points, but I tell you what, he's trying to make up for it as that comes off the crossbar. Cricky has to put that away. Doesn't. Macca's on the line, pushing that away. Close one, says Macca's in chat. And Loughborough will be feeling it. How about close one on that one, though? How about close one on that one? Cricky finds the net. 2-1 Loughborough.
Well, we saw very close opportunities at both ends. Goal line saves, pinches off the post. But that one, the polar opposite, Cricky from deep in the midfield, gets it over the top of everyone. And Loughborough now have a 2-1 lead, which was not what I was anticipating given how they started this series. And is it going to last for long either? No. Oh my word, Macca's almost gets the bake. No. He's going to turn it in as well. Oh, that is the slowest play that we are going to see all series long. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's so painful, but also so comedically perfect.
That absolutely did just happen in slow motion, just right in front of us.
Yeah.
Macca's staying up pitch, upfield, knowing something was going to happen, and Stam tries to drop that down and towards the centre, but everyone from Loughborough staying back just a little bit. They're protecting that midfield line. That's going to be a sore one for Loughborough to concede. Stam trying to drop it down, trying to find Turbo. Sniper will push that into the middle. Cricky upfield towards the sidewall. Ant-Man pinching towards the side. Turbo, the shot off target does put UEA under pressure into the middle. Snipe has to be there first. Does so. Ends up just about winning that 50-50 battle with him and Turbo. The shot from Cricky almost in. Can Stam to find a way through. What about Turbo? Shot on target. 3-2 to Loughborough.
word. This redirect from Crookie started everything, though. Macca's just panics with a backflip, and then his teammates join in as well. Double commit. Turblo to finish. Loughborough looking rejuvenated here in Game 5, and it could not have come at a better time as well. UEA on match point, but Loughborough starting to look more like themselves and starting to get back to their peak performance here.
Locked out in midfield line. Here comes Loughborough once again. Crookie taken out of the picture by Ant-Man as Macca's looking for the net, looking for the flip reset. Past one, Snipe can't get it past two as Stam makes the clearance. Crookie in towards the centre, trying to find Stam, but Stam drops back. Doesn't pick up the boost though. That might diffuse the situation for this UEA side as they manage to find a clearance. Turblo in the back lines, can't get it past the first challenge of Macca's. Stam needs to make the clearance again, does so. Down that right-hand side as Ant-Man gets in the way. Into the back and forth period of this match once again. It's been fast frenetic action, but this time it's UEA and Loughborough having equal opportunities to take shots at each other. Turblo trying to fake out one, but Ant-Man is smart to that, but it's still a good 50 from Turblo. Big 50 in the midfield line. Ant-Man, shot, just off target, that'll bounce off the ceiling. Turblo will clear the lines on the backboard. 1 minute 50 to go. UEA still lacking one goal. That could have been there. And it could be trying to make it two for Loughborough. Don't find a way through for the moment. In towards the centre. Almost a clearance for UEA, but they're still struggling a little bit on their back lines.
Sends one into the corner. Snipe with a shot now. It's just wide of the mark, but there's a demo onto Ant-Man. Stam might just try and take this all the way, and he has done as well. Another demo onto Ant-Man, and they just weren't able to get back. That demo in the midfield just opened things up. Stam knew all he had to do was keep that ball supersonic, and Macca's would not be able to catch it. Great play from Loughborough, and it has given them a 2-goal advantage here.
Turblo saw red in the corner as well, just decided, all right, I'll get rid of you as well. Again, for a second time in a row. This Loughborough team, they've started to turn things up. I think those team talks are starting to get through to them. Stam. The ceiling, that drops down to the centre. Ant-Man into the backboard. Here comes Macca's. Can't stop it down just now, but it does fall for Ant-Man. Here comes Snipe. The shot comes in. 4-3. Macca's back in the quick chats again. UEA within one goal.
UEA back within 1 minute remaining for Loughborough to either hold on or for UEA to come back and bring it to 4-4 and take us to a very nervous overtime with the Loughborough not fighting for their tournament lives, but fighting for their lives in the upper bracket. And I'm sure that Loughborough would love to get revenge for UEA sweeping them, not sweeping them, reverse sweeping them out of the bracket previously in that lower semi-final. Doesn't look likely as of right now. Loughborough have got a long way to go if they want to be victorious in the series. And even if they do win this game, UEA, you have to feel, are going to be in the driver's seat going forward.
Drops down in the last 30 seconds. Macca's does get a shot on target, drops off the sidewall. Stam is not there. Neither are UEA though. Turblo coming back to help support his teammates. Macca's taking it slow. Flick to the top shelf, doesn't find it. Ant-Man finishes it off. We have a tied game with 19 seconds to go. And yet again, Macca's dropping an OK in chat as he doesn't score the goal, but he will find the assist.
Yeah, that was great patience there from Macca's just to catch the ball, and with that one flick, beat all 3 defenders as well. Just completely opened up the play, and we do find ourselves at a tie game. I feel like we might see the return of nervous Loughborough here. That's what happened in that overtime, and we saw it in Game 3 as well. Unless they can get a last gasp goal here to take this game 5-4. Flick from Snipe finds Turblo, who might actually get back to this one, looking for the flip reset. He's got it over the top as well. Can't connect with it. We go to a second overtime of this series. UEA victorious in the previous one after 5 minutes of added time. Snipe into the midfield, blocked away by Stam. This overtime could decide the series if UEA score first. Earth the Dragon? Are we here? Not quite.
It's gone. There we go.
Yep.
Oh! What a time to rejoin! Earth the Dragon, I'm back. Oh my gosh, it's almost the end of the series. Well, not the end of the series. Luckily, we're about to score. Ant-Man having to send it out towards the side. But, apologies, everyone, for my internet. Apologies for if UEA find a way through here. And the series on that note. Ant-Man pushed out on the midfield line, but Loughborough, they're really committing to this play, really trying to put pressure on back. But Mackers will find a way past one. Can't find a way past the second. That pops up into the midfield. Turkey. Trying to get it past Ant-Man. Actually does so. Trying to look for the 50-50. It doesn't come through. Snipe. Putting pressure on Loughborough. The shot just off target. UEA just having the better of the opportunities at the moment in this part of overtime. Ant-Man, the shot wide, almost off the backboard from Mackers. Quick clearance from Turbolo. That goes to the upper end of the pitch. Has an open net. Loughborough are still alive.
They are still alive. It looked like they were very close there to being scored on, and Ant-Man did not get the touch that he would have wanted into the corner. Turbolo still having the angle to work with, and the open net firmly secured. Loughborough bring us to 3-2 here, and they are starting to look more like themselves again, more like their game one selves, where they came out confident and matching UEA. UEA definitely haven't turned anything down, that is for sure, but Loughborough have definitely turned things up here.
So much better. So it's night and day from the last game, from game 4 to game 5 now. We move on to game 6. It's still match point for UEA, but this is so much more threatening from this Loughborough side. They have taken control of the game. They have taken control of the series. They just need to be wary of the UEA team, because UEA are so good as well, and they have kept up their quality. They just need to be that better for these 5 minutes to get us to game 7. It's a tight one.
Yeah.
It is a tight one.
Well, I know for a fact that UEA will want to get us over the line sooner rather than later. They do not want to go to a game 7 here. I would favour them in a game 7, however, but I'm sure that they want to get things finished here at the first time of asking. Well, they squandered it at the first time of asking. Second time of asking, never mind, Loughborough. Another early goal from Stamina. Sees the defense. We're not far enough back and just fires it straight over the top of everyone.
Parts the Blue Jays and finds a way to the net. Clark Mackers getting a taste of his own medicine from all the quick chat spam and instantly decides, no, that's toxic if you say it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous double standards. How about this for a double standard though? Almost flying away. UEA to score and equalise in this game. Snipe, shot just off target. Ant-Man flying through to try and get the rebound in towards the net. Good clearance from Crookie. In towards net. Snipe. Clearance for Ant-Man. Towards the backboard. Mackers drops that down. That is masterful. That is a masterful pass down to the centre. And Ant-Man equalises.
That is insane. Just to touch it down on a dime for Ant-Man to finish. Yeah, that is top class there from Mackers. And we end up back at an even scoreline. It feels like we say this so many times where Loughborough are able to get their noses in front. Turbolo forced into a very awkward save. Loughborough players jumping for it, but no one making contact. And UEA backing off as well. Although Snipe is there. Snipe was the only player staying up, and he is going to make it count as well. Converts on that shaky defense from Loughborough. Nobody wanted to go for the ball. And Turbolo ultimately rabbit in the headlights. UEA back in front.
I think it was a case of two players trying to defend the goal with 0 boosts, and neither of them could go. Neither of them could say, oh yeah, I've got it. Very good kick-off. Loughborough looking good in possession, but still. 1 goal behind in the early goings. It's not a great start for this Loughborough team. And there's games. Okay, alright, just shut me up. Great, fantastic. Nice job, Stam. Loughborough back into it.
That didn't look like it should have worked. I mean, yes, it was a great infield pass, but the shot had no power behind it whatsoever. It was just the placement was good enough, like the side to side just threw off the defense. So we are back to a tied game, but I feel like that one was a little bit cheap there from UEA to concede. Stam at the far end. That man coming across in time. Crookie into the corner. Might be able to get the double as well. Almost gets the block. Turblo sending it on Crookie, looking for the redirect, but not enough power, and they've left Stam all by himself at the back line. He's going to make a nice touch into the corner. Macca's trying to drop it down for Snipe, who is too far forward. We go right back up the other end with Crookie. Brilliant field pass. Stam caught out in possession. Turblo going to be pulled on. Getting into the corner. Turblo has no boost. Going to let Stam continue. Carry the momentum forwards. Crookie, that is an absolute sitter in front of net. And Crookie's missed it.
They still convert one. Not at the moment. Crookie has another chance to make up for it. Still not at set up the Stam, but that is an absolute travesty. How does that not end up in the back of the net, Crookie? Still at 2 apiece. Somehow UEA have survived that. Might not survive this though. It's good pressure from Loughborough. It's broken out by Macca's. Stam upfield again. Snipe going out towards the right-hand side. Big pinch from Atman. Pressure incoming for UEA, but Loughborough need to send it straight back. Just about in possession. Just about get it to the halfway line where they can relax at least for a moment.
They can't relax for very long, as both teams now are just absolutely going at it in the midfield. There is unrelenting pressure, just constant 50-50s. You never really have a free touch at this point. It's 2-2 as things stand, 2 minutes left on the clock. And I think now we are seeing both teams start to perform at their absolute best. UEA want to win the series, although that one should have got in from Turblo. I was going to say UEA want to win the series. Loughborough just want to stay alive and take us to a game 7, but that is not the way to go about it. That is, though, Turblo making up for his mistake not 10 seconds ago and converting that one. So Loughborough going in front once again. But every time I've said that, UEA have found a way to equalise. Are we going to see the same thing here, Dragon, or are Loughborough going to hold on and take us to a game 7?
Be wary of kick-off as that
Dragon.exe has stopped working again, so I'll take over. But Macca's in the corner. He's got plenty of boost to work with as well. Tries to find a teammate in Snipe. Sends it long over towards Turblo. Stam takes control. He's just going to bide his time here. Look for a flick over one, but it's not going to pay off for him. Turblo now gets the 50-50. Snipe with a shot. Crookie forced into a save at the near post. Stam just waiting. That was a drop down meant for Ant-Man, but turns into a 50-50 as they're just trying to play keep away at the moment, it seems. Or it could be something. Crookie, never mind. He used his flip a bit early to get back down to that ball, and play continuing in the midfield. Turblo blocked out by Ant-Man. Stam with a beautiful fake, leaves it for Crookie, but he was caught out a little bit there. Stam with a lovely half-flip save, though, able to get to the ball just in the nick of time and keep the score in favour of Loughborough.
Doubly in favour of Loughborough as Crookie finds blast to the back of the net, and that might be the game 7 locked in. That might be. 37 seconds to go. You can never predict exactly what UEA will be able to do with the rest of the time in a game. But it's time to find out. Macca's and Snipe. Big challenge at the midfield line. I'll drop down into the centre. Ant-Man back into the middle. Misplay from Stam. Still an opportunity to be pressurised for the UEA team, but it seems like Loughborough, they're just being gentle. They're just making sure this time will tick down. Don't let UEA score. Game 7 will be locked in. Just keep calm, stay back, let time tick down.
Well, they've definitely done enough, and it is going to be a game 7, so let's talk about it. Who wins game 7? Loughborough have just taken 2 games back-to-back, survived 2 match points. UEA, to me, still feel like the better team, but I mean, Loughborough, their offense has come on leaps and bounds since games 2 and 3, where they just started to look a little bit timid. They outshot by 16 shots to 7 there. So that's a huge margin. Loughborough's offense has just been unrelenting. Will that mean that they can go forwards and take victory in game 7, or will UEA really start to show what they're made of again. We actually find ourselves in a similar position, though. It went all the way to Game 7 in the lower bracket in the winter split, and we find ourselves at Game 7 again here. Who have you got, Dragon?
This is the toughest call you can make, because
Yeah.
momentum is on Loughborough's side
Sure.
after getting those last 2 games to keep them alive in the series. Yet UEA have been consistent. It's now a question of if that consistency is going to keep going and be rewarded with a Game 7 win, or if Loughborough can just about do enough to sneak it away from them. Questions, and we have 5 minutes to answer them. Here's the kickoff. Stam versus Clapmakers. It's just about in favour of Loughborough. Here comes Turbo off the ceiling, getting the 50-50. That moves out towards the centre line. Clapmakers doesn't get the touch, but gives it the Snipe to move upfield with. Snipe dropping back, and one at a time offense for this UEA side to kick off this all-important Game 7 on Champions Field. Shot, and it starts off. Crookie and Loughborough take the lead to start off this Game 7. It seems that momentum might be the answer.
And it was very lazy from UEA as well. Just the defense not sharpened up to the potential threat there from Crookie. I think there was a miss from one of the players, and it just seemed like a very cheap goal to concede. And UEA, they're not really known for conceding cheap goals. It is difficult to score against them. It's difficult to break them down, but not when they're gifting you opportunities like that.
So UEA will have to work from 1 goal behind to try and make their way past Loughborough and into the upper brackets final. Snipe. Push it outwards, and man will have to clear things up. Meet Turbo, plus it down to Crookie. Comes off the Clapmack and goes to the back corner as Turbo puts it back into the middle. Stam can't find the shots. Once again, UEA will come away with the ball. Big finish from Clapmackers. Ant-Man around 1. Can't find a way past Crookie, but here comes Snipe to spoil his teammate. Again, Crookie, big 50-50 win. To get it past 2 more. And it's just a little bit more time, a little bit more possession, and another chance for Loughborough. All made by little challenges by Crookie, and great just seeing the pitch, great reading of the game by Stam to find the second goal.
Yeah, Loughborough 2-0 up. I really was not expecting this, to be honest, but UEA now look exactly the same as Loughborough did in Game 3. We're not seeing the flashy plays from UEA. We're not seeing the link-up plays either, and we're not really seeing any offense. And on defense, the rotations have broken down. They just look like they're just not quite 100% tuned in to the game that Loughborough are playing, and that is causing Loughborough to just walk all over them on offense. So I'm starting to worry for UEA now. They look second best in this game, at least, and Game 7 of all games is where you want to bring your absolute A game and be at your best.
It was not quite this time, but it was this same matchup that Turbo came onto the scene and put in a massive performance in what we thought was going to be a runaway victory for UEA at the time. And yet again, Turbo putting in a good performance today to try and make sure it's not a runaway victory for UEA yet again. And this time they've come so much closer. Snipe trying to drop it down to a teammate, but no one's there. Stam coming out to the corner. This time it has to be said, I feel like Crookie's been the standout player for this Loughborough team, keeping everything together, not really making any mistakes in the defensive line, putting in a few goals and assists here and there to help out the team as we get into the last 2 minutes of play, and UEA still have not found a way through. Loughborough on the play to Crookie, the shot just off target, but still, that is time off the clock that is wasted by Loughborough, still putting pressure on and still putting challenges on net.
I feel like another goal for Loughborough could be curtains for UEA, but UEA themselves haven't really looked like scoring. Their offense has been lackluster, and they just haven't had the chemistry that we've seen from them. They almost look a little bit lost, really, too spread out, and not able to make the convincing and important touches. We finally see a
Shot.
shot come through, and it's a much better one from Macca's snipe there. Right idea to go for the defender, because Loughborough have been looking like a much tighter unit on defense. That just completely breaks it down, and the shot top shelf from Macca's, putting UEA back in it. They're going to have to do a little bit more than that, though.
128 is still a little bit of a mountain to climb, especially if Cook is able to get a kick-off goal and add to it. Off the possession, looks like Macca's getting in the way though, getting a big clear up field, still just about wins the 50-50, gets possession, snipe the shot down, and there he is, the equaliser, 2 goals apiece, 1:13 to go, the game is alive in this absolutely insane Game 7.
Yeah, I really want to talk about that dunk from Macca's as well, just using that drift and flipping towards the ball, somehow manages to keep up with it and get the dunk, and that allows Snipe to come through with the shot. So UEA have done not the impossible, but what many may have started to think was unthinkable, because it's been quite a while. They had quite a goal drought, and Loughborough really starting to show promise, show prowess. But now we find ourselves at a stalemate once again in Game 7. Right-hand side, Stam trying to put it back in the mixer for Cricky. Blocked out by Ant-Man. Stam with another shot. Max is going to have to get it clear. Finds Ant-Man in the corner. Going to try and take this one down. Turbo in the right place at the right time. Gets one demo, potentially looking for another as well. But every time UEA try and clear their lines, they're just giving possession away. Macca's needs to get there, and he's not going to do so. And it's that man, Turbo, again, to score the goal that might send Loughborough forwards in this upper bracket.
This offensive of rotations coming in from Loughborough absolutely starved UEA of any boost on the pitch. The last man back, Eklund Macca's, had absolutely none, 0 to try and defend that shot with. That's just how Loughborough will like it. Last 30 seconds to go in towards the centre from Stam's touch. Macca's towards the side, in towards the middle, big clearance again by Turbo. The shot just being touched wide by Snipe. He clapped Macca's up into the air. Going for the flip reset. Can't find a passing towards the centre. That man rotating back round. This has to be it. This has to be the one for UEA. Otherwise, Loughborough are taking the series as it drops down. It's in front of net! 0 seconds on the clock, and Eclat Macca's fires it home with help from Snipe, and in fact, Ant-Man coming in.
Wow. The demo on the back line again opens things up. 0-second goal to tie the game in Game 7. We go to an overtime here, and it's with Snipe, who sends it long into the corner. Snipe looking for the second touch. Misses. Ant-Man has it, but Stam gets in the way, gets the block, has no boost left, gets demoed as well. Macca's taking his time. The 1v1 player, can he get the flick off? Not quite. Crookie with a very important block here, and Crookie once again trying to make it work for his team. Macca's off the backboard, looking to drop it down. Stam into the air. Stam with a miss. Might be able to get back to it. Crookie bails him out. It is end to end. 1 goal ends it all. Who is it going to be?
Internet, do not fail me now. This is the most engaged I've been in a Rocket League series for a long time. UEA pushing it outfield onto the backboard from Ant-Man. Hing comes to the centre. Stam has to block that. He can't. Snipe finds the goal. Snipe finds the win. Game 7 goes to UEA. They march on to the upper finals.
Incredible series overall, but UEA ultimately, after losing 2 games in a row and going 2 goals down and staring down the barrel of defeat on 0 seconds, come back, snatch the overtime away and snatch the series away from Loughborough to advance in the upper bracket. I assume they will be playing Roehampton, but I'm really not sure because Lincoln took game 1. But whoever they're playing, UEA will be very happy to have made it into that upper bracket final.
I think we've been so concentrated on that game, we have let that absolutely slip. UEA, we need to have an interview with these UEA guys to actually see what was going through their minds as it was approaching, as it was falling towards the floor, as it fell off the waterfall, and they managed to turn it in. What a series. That is the insanity that UK University Esports can bring. And UEA, they hold on. That was absolute survival mode, fight or flight. They chose fight, and they chose to win in that moment.
I definitely did. Well, I can confirm that on the other side of the upper bracket, it was 4-3, Roehampton versus Lincoln. Now, I
Ooh.
really did not expect that. Lincoln putting up a great fight there against Roehampton, who have been unstoppable all season long. But your upper bracket final will be Roehampton versus UEA. Now, in the first round of the lower bracket, we have unfortunately said goodbye to Loughborough B, although in a very close series, another game 7 losing to Kent 4-3, and Warwick in 6 games 4-2 versus Lancaster. So Loughborough B and Lancaster both dropping out. So we will have Kent versus Loughborough and Warwick versus Lincoln as the next rounds in the upper bracket. But that will be all from tonight. But I don't think we could have closed this out in a much better way in game 7, to be honest. That was ridiculous. The Loughborough comeback, which I didn't really see coming, and then the UEA comeback in game 7 to cap it all off.
We've had 2 series that have really surprised us to send teams to the upper bracket final. I mean, we didn't expect Lincoln to have a chance against Roehampton. They take it to game 7. And in this one, I think we knew it was going to be this close, but in the fashion it turned out, that has absolutely blown our socks off. And what a way to end. I'm pretty sure the internet was trying to save me from the absolute heart pounding action for some reason, but no, I needed that. That was an insane series. And next week is going to be no different. It's going to be booking people's tickets to the grand finals and finals day itself.
Yeah. Well, that is all she wrote for today, but we will be back same time, same place next week live on this Twitch channel. But thank you very much for watching the Amazon University Esports UK and Ireland for the Rocket League Spring 2023 Championship. And a huge thank you to our sponsors, Prime Video, Prime Student, and Omen for making all of this possible. Thank you to everyone behind the scenes as well, production, Becca as well for organizing. But we will be back next week. I've been Orion. I've been joined by RW Dragon, and we will see you then.